You know what? Don't forget too. I forgot because I'm doing two things at once. Oh. You want to poke a couple holes in your bag. Get that off of alcohol now. Poke a couple holes towards the bottom of the tubing when you cut it off the roll, so air can escape. There. Now I can get more down there. And keep twisting and pressing as we normally would. Okay, we'll tie it off. And we'll set it here on a clean spot on this lift out of the way. Go ahead and slice the excess off. Now let's do another one. Go ahead and re-alcohol my arms up. You can see these large rolls of plastic will last a long time. If you haven't noticed how I'm dispensing it, I just have the top to one of these lids right there that just slides on. There's no stick going through the center or anything like that. Just because it's so heavy. I had thought about hanging it from this shelving, but it's just too heavy. It's about 50, 60 pound plus roll of plastic at the start. So here I'm going to poke the holes first, then pull out what I want. Again, stretch the end out. Good idea too is when you stretch it out, try to put your hands where the seam of the plastic is, because there's a chance that you can split that. You can split it all the way down the tube. Now, of course, if you're not the only person doing this, you can make a team of one people mixing things up and one people packing logs and really kick it in gear. Go ahead and use some tape again. Alternatively, you could probably use like probably a bungee cord, or maybe even put your own clamps, the kind you would screw in, and it's like an alligator clip to hang on. That'd probably work as well. Just remember that when you initially dump it in, do it slowly. That way you're not risking knocking it off there. And you can get the bottom of the log seated where you want it. All right. Looks pretty square to me. Now, if you had a little bit extra ceiling height, you could make something like a funnel of plastic or something of that sort. So you spill a little less than I do. I'm not really spilling a whole lot, but actually quite a bit less than what I would if I had cooled it out on table. Whatever, all the excess falling off the side of the table. So again, that fill it up quite a ways. Slide it off the side. Now, I've been thinking some other ideas. If you are somebody that lives in an area that can't find cottonseed hulls, because everybody who's done this knows that straw is a pain in the butt, chopping it is a pain in the butt, cleaning it up is a pain in the butt. If I have the choice, I'll never use straw again, really. But if you can't find hulls, cottonseed hulls rather, you might want to look at maybe chopped up corn cob bedding. Because corn cobs are a good source of nutrition that doesn't have so much that you can't pasteurize. Now I can move all this stuff out of the way. And like I said, I can probably do better, at least the space requirements, not having this big table down here anymore. But it'll do for the moment. Alright, I'm going to wipe the table down with alcohol, and I'm going to poke the holes in these two logs, wipe those down with alcohol as well before I poke them. And I'll show you another idea I have on making it easier to flatten them out. So you see I have these logs on this table. I already have one flattened out, the holes punched in it. Now you see, I have another, the holes punched in it, and I have a clean sheet of trash bag pulled and tore out so it's flat. You can also use the, if you remember to fold up the bag you use for the paddle for the press, so that you can put the bottom side of it on the log, and you don't have to go through another bag. And you see here, I have a kind of a makeshift rolling pin. All it is one of the pieces of the legs of my shelf, and this was actually the one of the spools for plastic. Well, alternatively, you can find anything like that would be like a giant rolling pin. Get the end in there. But I have the plastic down here, so I don't really even have to clean the pin. Probably slide that guy out of the way. And then you just treat it as if it was a big lump of dough. Probably works better to go from the inside out. That way you fill up the very ends and there's no open air space there. kind of put your body weight into it, let your weight do the work, pushing it down. Okay. Now I'm actually going to go ahead and fold this up and use it for my next run of the press, so I'm not wasting the bag. Put that down here for a moment. So you see, I did a pretty good job flattening them out. Probably get a little bit flatter pressing it down, but I think it's easier. And obviously, I could make a pin that was heavier than this, so you'd be able to put some more weight to it and press it down harder. That's what I'll probably do eventually if I find a better design. So I'm gonna put the date on those and put them on these shelves back here. Now you can see these logs right here were, well, all of them on this shelf were mixed up with the cement mixer. And today is the 30th, so you see in 4 to 5 days they'll be fully colonized. You can see there's some a little bit not colonized here, but that's very quick. And it's because the grain is so evenly dispersed, the mycelium doesn't have to travel far in any spot to achieve full colonization. Also, too, hopefully that means that I'll get a flush of mushrooms that has a more even size, that there's not a whole bunch of large ones on, say, the end where I had more grain, and then a whole bunch of small ones off the side, or some kind of fashion like that. You can even see these ones, I didn't mix up with the cement mixer, but I added plaster to again. And they're doing good. I definitely think the plaster helps now. So like I said before, I'm going to incorporate it now in everything I do. And here's another tube bag. You can see it still has some metabolite on it, but not nearly as much as the log with no plaster in it. And it'll turn out fine. Like I said before, I had that one back here. Okay, here it is. You can see it's pinning pretty good all around. So, that's all doing good. And I hope you have access to a cement mixer so you can speed up your mushroom farm as well and get things really going. You can see I've pretty much maxed out my basement. And so, I get some more restaurants on board, I'm going to be looking for a new place to do this with a bigger basement. Or even an outdoor kind of warehouse setting, but it's something they got to look for. But ideally, a basement is better because it holds in the temperature in the winter and summer months. So, that does it for this episode. I'll see you next time on Mushroom Adventures.